Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This week we have a double portion. So the first parsha is vayakhel, and the second one is pekudei. So as we know, we have more parshiot in the Torah than there are weeks in the year. And so a lot of times, and it's pretty set which parshiot will be combined, we'll have parshiot that are together, and some years they're not, just depending on how the weeks fall. So vayakhel and pekudei. We are, just to give a refresher, we're still in the desert, and we're still in the many parshiot talking about the building of the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle in the desert. And something that I just read about building the Mishkan is that it's not redundant, but there's so much text about it. And I think we talked a little bit about this, and I saw a really crazy fact, so I'm going to read it to you. All in all, 13 chapters are devoted to describing how certain physical materials were fashioned into the Mishkan and the training of the priests who were to officiate there. In contrast, the Torah devotes one chapter to its account of creation, 3 chapters to its description of the revelation at Mount Sinai, and 11 to the story of the Exodus. So there's obviously significance there. And as we discussed, everything is meaningful in the Torah. It's not just super long to be super long. And I never really heard a satisfactory answer for why it's so detailed. And especially because we don't have sacrifices, we don't have temples today. God willing, we will have them when Moshiach comes, when the Messiah comes. But it's not super relevant. And so this is a nice explanation that I just read. So the idea is that there are 2 steps to being a partner in creation with God. The first is to build the vessel with which to serve God. And the second part is to serve God. One would think that the second part, which is serving God, which kind of, it goes with every Jewish teaching we're taught, that like the second thing of actually doing the thing, doing the mitzvot, is the better part of that double of those 2 parts. But in actuality, it's the first part, the building of the vessel. So for example, if you want to learn more about you want to do more Jewish learning, the carving out of an hour in your week is more important than actually doing it. Obviously it's good to do the second part as well. But what this is exemplifying is that the building of the Mishkan, the building of a place that God can dwell, is the starting point. And it makes sense that, we're not going to cook if we don't have good pots and pans. We're not going to read if we don't have books. Like there's all these, we can have high aspirations to do something, but if we don't have the tools and the vessel and the time to do it, it's not going to happen, which I think is a very nice and practical way of living. I find that a little more satisfactory than other things that I've read about the building of the Mishkan. There's also description of the half shekel that every person should give to the temple for its building. And the idea, so I said half shekel, right? Everyone's supposed to give a half shekel. They're not supposed to give a full shekel. Firstly, people could be rich, people could be poor, but a half shekel is a relatively affordable amount of something to give. And each Jew has to give, because a half shekel isn't much on its own, but a half shekel and a half shekel are 1 full shekel. And the idea is that the Jewish people, no matter where we are ranked, no matter what our role is or status is in the Jewish community, us personally being a Jew and having other Jews around us is more important than just being a Jew who's important, whatever. That we need each half shekel to be together. It's not good enough just to be one person. We need the whole community. And again, it's like kind of a leveling the playing field. And what was the purpose of the half shekel? The purpose of the half shekel was to do a census to find out how many people were in the group that was traveling in the desert. And there's the number that is given is actually the number of men that are in the group, which is annoying. We have to kind of think about the time with which this was all written and taken account of. But it's still, the idea remains that no matter what someone's stature is in life, they're still just as valuable as the next person, because you're only giving a half shekel. And I think that's kind of it's like putting a $10 cap on your Secret Santa. Like everyone is kind of on a level playing field, because if someone's giving an iPhone out, it's just not the same as giving something thoughtful from Amazon. So those are this week's parshas. It's crazy. We're still in the month of Adar, but the month of Nisan, the month that we celebrate Passover, is coming up, which is crazy. I saw matzah today in Trader Joe's and I was triggered. Feels like Passover is coming very soon. So we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But Shabbat Shalom. Wishing you a week full of creating vessels and then fulfilling the thing that you want to do with the vessel. Shabbat Shalom.